changes which are to come can only come as a result of a program worked out by black people. And for black people to be able to work out a program, they need to defeat the one main element in politics which was working against them, and this was a psychological feeling of inferiority.
Biko warned us, Ramaphosa, CODESA, and the return of white dominance through the GNU. Steve Biko once said, "The most pointed weapon in the hands of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed." Today, that warning is more alive than ever in South Africa. The ANC's decision to form a government of national unity with the DA and Freedom Front Plus isn't just politics, it's history repeating itself. To understand how we got here, we need to go back to CODESA, the negotiation table of the early 1990s, where psychological chains, not just political compromises, shaped the South Africa we live in today. Biko's warning. The Black Consciousness Movement taught us that political liberation without mental liberation would be incomplete. Biko insisted that unless black leaders truly believed in their own capacity to govern, they will remain dependent on white approval and guidance.
I can't rule out a possibility of a splinter group from the ANC to form a coalition with the DA and restore a white man in the union building there. It's possible. It's possible they are working on something like that. We're being controlled by whites here. Even the little political freedom we got in 1994, Cyril has surrendered that power back into whiteness. That's a problem here. And then when you talk, everyone comes against you. Why? They are being controlled by money. They are being controlled by money.
Cyril Ramaphosa at CODESA. At CODESA, Cyril Ramaphosa, as the ANC's chief negotiator, worked hand in hand with Roelf Meyer, a former apartheid minister. It was Ramaphosa who played a key role in convincing the ANC to accept compromises that left the economy largely in white hands, while handing over only political office to the majority. This wasn't just negotiation. It was the very mental capitulation Biko warned about, believing black leadership could not stand alone. Fast forward to today. More than 30 years later, Ramaphosa is back in dialogue with Roelf Meyer. Together, they are spearheading the so-called national dialogue, while the ANC forms a coalition government with the DA and Freedom Front Plus. The symbolism is chilling. The same white actors of apartheid now guide the ANC in shaping today's South Africa, while Ramaphosa once again plays the role of the bridge, persuading black leadership to accept white dominance in the name of stability.
You know, there's some very well-read ANC people around who say what's happening now is what Castro warned us about. Because Castro warned Mandela that if you let Ramaphosa take over the ANC, he will destroy your party because he's not a...
Because Cyril Ramaphosa and this NEC are not interested in serving the interests of the majority of black and especially African people. I've been standing during the last couple of NEC meetings with a poster outside those meetings saying Ramaphosa must go. But instead of them listening to that message, instead of those comrades, some of them with whom I've worked for many, many decades, because as I've told you in my earlier life, I've been part of the ANC now for 43 years. I joined when I was 19. In a couple of days' time, I'm going to turn 63. I've pleaded with them, comrades, please. You can see that Cyril Ramaphosa is destroying the ANC. Please remove him as president of the ANC. They failed to do so. And part of the reason why they failed to do so is because all of them have become compromised. All of them have taken money from Ramaphosa and from those companies that support him. So they cannot even open their mouths. They cannot even show a little bit of backbone to stand up to act to save the ANC. And that's why I've said to you, the ANC is in deep crisis. And if the ANC in the upcoming conference, because there's now another conference in a week's time, which is starting on the 16th of December, which is the 55th National Conference of the ANC. If the ANC fails at that conference to remove Ramaphosa, if they vote him back in as president, I fear it's the end of the ANC, and that will be a tragedy.
The GNU and psychological subservience. By partnering with the DA and Freedom Front Plus, the ANC shows that it still struggled with the very inferiority complex Biko described. Instead of asserting confidence in black self-governance, the ANC seeks validation from the very forces that oppose liberation. This is not nation building. It's the entrenchment of the idea that black leadership is incapable without white oversight. Supporters of Ramaphosa will argue. They will say the ANC had no choice after dropping to 40% in the 2024 election results. But let us not forget, the MK party and the EFF were there, willing to partner. So was it truly about no choice, or was it about a deeper mindset that still doubts black leadership? You be the judge. Steve Biko was right. South Africa achieved political freedom in 1994, but not full psychological liberation. And until we break those mental chains, we will keep seeing the same pattern. Leaders like Ramaphosa turning to Roelf Meyer and the DA for guidance, instead of trusting in the power and capability of black South Africans.
I think they were in a hurry to become something leadership because they only came with the date of elections, and that was it. But when we went there, we had all types of demands. Why would you say liberation took place in 1994, 27 April, but the oppressed did not lose anything and the oppressed did not gain anything? There is nothing to show from 1994 to where we are now, except that we've got some constitution which guarantees us some freedom of speech, and then we speak the way we like and we think that's what we've been fighting for. That has never been at the center of the foundation of the revolution. At the center of the foundation of the revolution was the land question. So the leadership went in there, negotiated, and Cyril Ramaphosa made this point one day in one of the NECs of the Youth League. He says to us, comrades, when we were negotiating there, already people were being offered shares in companies. A lot of them were beginning to receive shares of Vodacom. Vodacom was now coming into South Africa. Cell phones were going to be introduced. As people were negotiating freedom, people were negotiating the deals on the sideline of the negotiations.
Which people?
The leadership of the ANC.
All of them?
All of them. All of them. I mean, do you know that when the ANC came back into the country, and this is found in the biography of Trevor Manuel, when they arrived, first National Executive Committee of the ANC took place at Velgerlegen farm, which is owned by Johan Rupert. They landed. Trevor said, Velgerlegen, let's go. They got into the cars, went into the farm. They actually realized later that they were driven into a meeting, first National Executive Committee of the ANC, into a farm of Johan Rupert. So when you talk capture, when you talk people who are negotiating, those are the people who are holding meetings at the farm of our oppressors.
South Africa, it's time we honor Biko's vision. We don't need another GNU to validate our leadership. We need psychological freedom, belief in ourselves, to build a nation on our own terms. That's why we are building Inkari Lifestyle Hub, for self-reliance and to reinforce our belief in our own capabilities. Join us in empowering local communities. Like, share this video and subscribe to Inkari It's Time. Thanks for watching and take care.